Hello and welcome to Find Your Voice TV, where we explore the physiological, psychological and creative elements that go into your performance. My name is Emmanuella Grace. I am your vocal coach and a performance expert. I'm really excited today to welcome my mentor and one of the most incredible men I've ever met, Travis Bell, the bucket list guy.
Oh my God, that's so kind.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Stoked to be here.
Knowing you as I do, you've had some pretty cool things happen as a byproduct of being the world's #1 bucket list expert. Can you tell us what your top bucket list gigs have been?
The cool byproduct of it is the fact that number one, I'm helping a lot of people live a regret-free life. And that's my #1 thing, to help them live their bucket list before it's too late. You know, the whole message, which I obviously live and breathe, I'm so congruent with. It's until something maybe dramatic, traumatic happens in a person's life, is then when they shift in that instance and they start to think about the things that they truly want to do before they die. And that's what the movies was all about. You know, about two blokes get given a cancer diagnosis and then they write a bucket list. My whole thing is to wake people up before they get a use-by date.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about that is, I was just telling, you know, I run around in the world video blogging all the stuff that I do. You know, I've done an Ironman, I've gone to Everest, and I've been to not Everest like the top, but I went to advanced base camp on Everest through Tibet. I was telling a guy this morning that I went and saw a live volcano over in Tanner Island, Vanuatu. I've met Tim Ferriss, I've met Richard Branson. I've done some pretty crazy stuff, and I get dared to do a lot of things as well. But it's these challenges. Like last year, I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. I was in an orphanage, you know, for HIV kids over in Cambodia. I was a not so small elf on Christmas Day for those kids, and you know, I say a bucket list is a tangible life plan, where our career plan or our business plan should fit into our life plan and not be the other way around. You know, work to live, not live to work.
In this day and age of what you call infobesity, and you get dared to do a lot of things and you have a lot of resources now, you've got quite a lot of momentum. What are some tips for people when they feel like there's an overwhelm of options or an overwhelm of information out there? Like, how do you know when to say no? How do you know when to say that's not for me?
The #1 thing is to get people really present to what they truly want to do in their life. And people need to get in a space, a quiet space, to really think about it. And before it's too late, you know, they don't need to wait until they're shaken up by someone getting a diagnosis next to them or them getting a diagnosis. Steal idea, you know, this is my life. I steal ideas from all my audience members.
Well, they say a good artist borrows.
It's
a
called
great artist
research.
steals.
Research, yeah. But I say jokingly as part of my keynote, because we have this concept called a reverse bucket list. And it's like, all right, if you haven't written a bucket list, right, we have this concept called reverse bucket list. And that's all the cool stuff you've already done in your life as if it weren't a bucket list all the way along. And then we start sharing that sort of stuff, and it builds a foundation. It's a big gratitude exercise. And as a result of people sharing that, and let's say a room of 300 people in an audience, and you're holding the mic around, and people are sharing different ideas, and people go, and I say, look, it's okay in this room to, people can copy, cheat and steal, and there's to be no judgment. And people are, all right, cool, well that sounds good, that sounds good. And it's actually just the process of people writing it down is the first step, and separating their to-do list from their bucket list.
Yeah, because a big part of what we have to deal with as coaches, especially when we're creating something new that people aren't aware of, there isn't already a bucket list out there, is educating our audience.
And so people have to be reminded about that, and that's why I get called in. And literally I got called in by the National Guard, the American National Guard. That's like the Aussie version of our Army Reserves. And I spoke in a place called Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Right.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Random. On an Air Force base.
Wow.
So I spoke to teenagers as one of my first talk, and then I spoke to the adults, and I treat them exactly the same.
Yeah, right.
Yep. And I had those young adults go home and create bucket list boards and reverse bucket list boards, and using the formula and everything that I've got for everyone is they then go and write a bucket list and then they go and do it. In a way, and I've created this whole a thing called the Bucket List Life Plan now, and it's really like there's a lot of success rhetoric out there. The old school goal setting methodologies, they're just not working because people aren't achieving the things they want to achieve. So there's got to be a different way. And I'm I think I'm a punk at heart, and I just like to disrupt but thankfully, what I'm doing is working. It's getting people results, and I've got so many great testimonials from people over the years of people actually doing the stuff it's like I give people permission to dream again. And I give them permission to really get out of their own way and do the things that they truly want to do, before they kick the bucket. The coolest thing about what I do, Emmanuel, is the fact that I get sent videos and I get sent, pictures of people, of audience members, of people who follow me online, of their families, of them achieving their bucket lists, and going, look, Trav, look, and get tagged in stuff. It's super cool, and that just inspires me to play a way bigger game in my life.
Yeah. Well, Trav Bell, thank you so much for joining us. If people would like to learn more about making a bucket list, could you share with us where they could go to find that?
Yeah, certainly. Anyone who's interested in creating a bucket list, follow me online. I've got all the socials. We'll attach all those, no doubt. Mentoring, if you want to be a speaker, just go to www.thebucketlistguy.com.
Yeah, great. It's amazing and it's easy, and I can actually vouch for Trav as a mentor. He has really been an incredible mentor to me, and I'm very, very grateful for you.
My pleasure.
Yeah. This is Emmanuella Grace from Find Your Voice signing off. Thank you so much for joining us, and if you've got any questions or feedback, we'd love to hear it. Just put it below. For those of you who haven't seen Trav Bell's TED Talk, I'd encourage you to look up the TEDx Melbourne 2016 TED Talk on your bucket lists.